Dear students, next session is your data compressions. We'll go for data compression. Okay, now we'll see what is data compression. If you see, in a data compression methods, it's apply the transformations to obtain a reduced or a compressed representation of the original data. So here we are not reducing the original data, but we are giving the compressed representation of the original data. The data reduction is lossless. That means we are not eliminating or we are not losing any data from the original data after you are doing some reduction. If the original data can be constructed from the compressed data without any loss of informations, and it is also giving assurance that once it has been compressed, if I want to go back to your original data, the entire data set will be available without any loss of information. Otherwise, we call it as a lossy. That is a data compression. Okay. Now, what are the different techniques in a data compression? We'll see one is a string compression. Here, there are extensive theories and well-tuned algorithms are there. It's typically, it's lossless, but only limited manipulations is possible without expansion. So if any more number of expansion is there, then it will be little complex for using the reduction technique. And mainly it is used for audio video compression, typically lossy compressions with the progressive refinement. So if you want to pass any audio videos data or audio data, it will be very lengthy. So in that case, this compression technique is very useful for transferring the frames. And sometimes small fragments of a single can be reconstructed without reconstructing the whole. That means small fragments can be taken instead of taking an entire method, and once it has been constructed also, it can be go back to its original position. That is the benefit of the data compression. And next one is dimensionality and numerosity reduction may also be considered as a form of data compression. So in the previous slides we have seen the dimensionality reductions, attribute selections, etc. So this can also be considered as a data compression. See, if you see the data compression, this is your original data. By using any techniques, we can compress the data. So this data, when you are reversing it to the original data, it will be lossless. That means the informations whichever you have compressed or you have reduced it will not lost when we are comparing with the original data. That is your data compression technique. And it will be sometimes it may be have any reductions, that is it will be having a original data approximated, that is a lossy data. If suppose there is any lossy, it will become as a original data approximated, but usually the compressed data will be lossless, so it can be come back to its original position. Okay, next one is data transformations and data discretization. Okay, what do you mean by data transformation? A function that maps the entire set of values of a given attribute to a new set of replacement values. For example, each old values can be identified with one of the new values. So that's what we have seen. This is nothing but the concept of a normalization only. So instead of taking a large value, we are scaling it to metric or a similar smaller values. Say for example, 0.0 to 0.1 or 1.0, like that we are be scaling the data so that it is easy for us to analysis. That is also the concept of data transformations. So what are the different techniques are there for transforming is one method is smoothing, that is remove the noise from the data. That is before transformations we have already seen what is ETL, that is extract, transform and loading. This is the like a tools which is available. So in this method, the smoothing is remove the noise from the data, and attribute or feature constructions can be taken. So here new attribute constructed from the given ones. So any new attributes can be taken from the existing one and can be named with the EC format so that we can transform the old data to the new data. Or else we can also go for aggregation, that is summarization and data construction. Okay, and normalization we have seen they're scaled to fall within a smaller specified range, that is minimum to maximum normalization, or a Z-score normalization or normalization by a decimal scaling. So these are all the categories how to normalize your values. One, the important thing is min-max normalization is mainly used in all these methods. And Z-score normalization and normalization by decimal scaling is also preferable. Discretization. Okay, there are three types of attributes if you see, mainly nominal attributes, ordinal attributes, and numeric attributes. In nominal attributes, the values are unordered. Example, color, profession. It's given like that. It is in a nominal attributes. If it is ordinal attributes, values from an ordered set. Example is military or academic rank. So it will be in an ordered value. And another attribute is a numeric attributes. Here the values will be as a real numbers. Example, integer or a real numbers. Okay. In this one, discretization is divide the range of a continuous attributes into intervals. So okay, here interval labels can be used to replace the actual data values. So instead of predicting a same value, you can go for 10 to 20, 20 to 30, like based on the interval values, we can predict the actual value. And this is a reduced data size by discretization. So this means instead of having each and every value, we can make as a interval values and we can group it in the data size also. There are supervised and unsupervised techniques also there, where supervised will be having a class labels and unsupervised will not be having a class labels. And you can split the data either from top to bottom or we can merge from bottom to up. Okay, discretization can be performed recursively on an attribute. So discretization, once we are splitting, that's what we have seen, what is a best fit and good worst fit. So that will be keep on recursively and iteratively it has to be integrated. And prepare for further analysis, and that is your classification. When it has been iterated and find the updated result, then you have to classify based on the labels. Next one is data discretization methods. We'll see what are the different types of methods are there. The main thing is binning method. So here it is called as a top-down split and an unsupervised, because we don't know before what is the label for this method. And next one is histogram analysis, that is a top-down split and it is also a unsupervised. Next one is a cluster analysis. Even this is also an unsupervised and top-down split or bottom-up merge. That's what we'll see clustering. They will be merging either from top to bottom individually or from bottom to up. Next one is a decision tree analysis. It's supervised because we know which class is going to belong it. And the decision tree already we know it is a top-down split from root node to leaf node. It will be spreading it. Next one is a correlation. There is a chi-square test analysis, which is unsupervised and is a bottom-up merge. So we'll see one of the example for a binning over here. See, in the binning, we can go for different varieties of partitioning. One is a equal width, that is a equal width partition, that is finding the distance. That is, you divide the range into n intervals of equal size. That is a uniform grid. How many values are there? You divide it. Suppose 10 numbers are there, means you can go for 5, 5 or 3, 3. Like that depends upon you divide it in equal size. And next one, if A and B are the lowest and the highest value of the attributes, then width of the intervals will be B minus A divided by N. Find the smallest value and the largest value and make it as a boundary values there. The most straightforward but outlinear may be dominate the presentation. The skewed data is not handled well. So here the data is very skewed. So this type of equal width partitioning will not support. Now it's the most straightforward but outlinears may dominate the presentation. Sometimes outlinear may be included in your equal width partitioning. The next one is here equal width frequency partitioning. That means here you divide the ranges into n intervals, each containing approximately same number of samples. It gives a good data scaling and it managing a categorical attributes which can be tricky. So here is the frequency partitioning. You divide the range into n intervals, each containing approximately the same number of samples. So the same number of samples which is matching, so that will be taken as a partitioning. And since it are taking all the similar groups, it may have a good data scaling. And managing a categorical attributes can be tricky because all will be belonging to the same thing. So different categories of managing is a little bit tricky over here. The next one is, now we'll see how the binning methods for data smoothing is functioning here. You see here, this is the samples. That is a sorted data for the price in dollars. See like 4, 8, 9, 15, 21, 21, 24, 25, 26, 28, 29, 34. These are all the price in the dollars it has been given. So if you come for partitioning into equal frequency, that is a equi-depth bins means, suppose you see here how many data are there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 data are there. So they are dividing into 3 bins with 4 range. Suppose bin 1 will take the 4 values. See, there is no any techniques over here. Just they are taking 4, 8, 9 and 15 in one bin, and the remaining 21, 21, 24, 25 is in another bin, and next is 26, 28, 29, 34 in the third bin. So 3 bins are there where data has been arranged. This is the equal frequency bins. That's the equi-depth. Depends upon the number of data they are partitioning it. And next one is smoothing by bin means. If you see here, if you take the value of this one, 4 plus 8 plus 9 plus 15 divided by 4, will be getting the mean value 9. So like that, adding 21, 21, 24, 25 by the number of 4, will be getting the bin value as 23. So like that, find the mean of this particular bin and replace all the value by the mean value. So if I take all this value, I am getting the mean as 9. So I am replacing all the value by the mean value, that is 999. So similarly also here I am replacing all this value. The mean for this is 24. So I am replacing by 24. So similarly here also the mean value is 29. So I am replacing here by 29. So this is the second smoothing by the bin mean. So depends upon the bin value we are reframing. Next one is smoothing by bin boundaries. If you see here, in this one, which is the smallest number and which is the greatest number, we should find out. So that will become the boundaries. There's a lower boundary and a higher boundary. So here in this value, 4 is the lowest number and 15 is the highest number. So we are making the boundary as 4 and 15. Similarly, 21 and 25. So if you see 21 and 25. Similarly, 26 and 34. Okay. Now, after making a boundaries here, you take one value and find out which value is closest to the which boundary. Say suppose I am taking 4, it is closest to the value 4, so I am writing over here. And the next 8, it is comparing to 15, it is nearer to 4, so I am writing 4 over here. If I take the value 9, it is closest to 4, so I am writing the value as 4 here. If I take the value 15, it is closest to 15, so I am writing the value here. Similarly, in the second bin, if I take a 21, it is closest to 21, so I am writing here. Similarly, 21 is equal, so we are writing here. If you see 24, it is nearer to 21, so we are writing here. And 24 is nearer to 25, so we are writing over here, and similarly this 25 is also written over here. Similarly, this 26, it is nearer to 26, so we are writing 26. So 28 is nearer to 26, so I am writing here 26. Similarly, 29 is nearer to 26, so we are writing here, and 34 is nearer to the upper boundary, so we are writing the value here. This is the way how your data will be smoothening. Okay, now here discretization by classification, correlation, analysis. So already we have seen the positive correlation, negative correlation, independent correlations. We'll see here classification example is a decision tree analysis. Since it's a supervised method of technique, so it can be used with the labels. So it is a given a class labels. Example, concurrence versus benzene, or else it is they can salary is a low salary or high salary, like that each and everything will be given in advance for you. That is a supervised learning, so it is easy for you to take any one of the classes. Using, and it's also use the entropy to determine the split point, that's which way it has to be split. So it's work for the top down in the recursive split. That is also the concept of the classification. Next one is the correlation analysis. It is mainly used for a chi-square based discretization. It is also used in a supervised formation of learning, and it is going for a bottom-up merge. Find the best neighboring intervals, those having a similar distribution of the class. That is, once it has been segregated point by point, first see the points which are very close, that you can merge it. So similarly with this merge value, you see any other points are close to that, that point will be merged. So in this way, it will be merging from bottom to upper. And this merge performed recursively until a predefined stopping condition is required. And the next one is a hierarchy generation. Here in the concept of hierarchy, we have seen either to a top-down or bottom-up approach. It organizes the concept. Example, the attribute values, which will be based on this attribute values, it will be segregated in the hierarchy wise. So hierarchically, and is usually associated with the dimensions in a data warehousing. So because here data warehousing is a concept of multi-dimensional view of a data, where each and every dimensions will be showing you the hierarchical representation of a data. Here, the concept hierarchy facilitates a drilling and rolling in a data warehouses to view the data in multiple granularity. Suppose drilling means we are moving the data from top to bottom. That is drilling, you know how to drill the land. Same thing from the top layer to bottom layer, you'll be drilling to find the piece of the data. And rolling, you know, it will be from bottom to top, so that I can get the abstract of the data at the higher level. Okay, next one is a concept hierarchy formation. It is recursively reduce the data by collecting and replacing the low level concept such as the numerical values for age by higher level concepts such as youth, adult or senior. So that is the abstract value of a lower level. So this is easy for you for the hierarchical formation. So depends upon the things, it has to be reduced recursively either from bottom to top or top to bottom. That's what we have seen, two concepts as a drilling and rolling. Okay, the concept hierarchies can explicitly specified by domain experts. So which method is applicable for which applications will be defined by a domain experts, or else the data warehouse designers. Okay, here the concept hierarchies can automatically formed for both numeric and nominal data. For example, numeric data use discretization method shown. So we'll see what is that. So like that, it can be used for any concept of hierarchies. You see here the concept hierarchy generalization for nominal data. The specification of the partial and total ordering of the attributes explicitly at the schema level of the user or expert. See, if you go from top level to bottom, it will be taken. Street is nothing but comes under city. The city comes under the state, and the state comes under the country. So if I am scanning from left to right, it will become the bottom to top. If I am scanning from right to left, it will comes up under a top to bottom. Okay, specification of an hierarchy for a set of values by express data grouping. So like that, say urban, Campion and Chicago, these are all Illinois. So like that, any groups can be framed together. Specification of only a partial set of attributes. If you see only street, this will be come under a city, not others. Like that, which one I want, like that I can make my hierarchies. Automatic generation of hierarchies, or that means depends upon the levels, we can frame it automatically also by the number of the discrete values. So whichever level we want, that can also be, we can fix it up. Suppose here having a street, city, state, country. If I doesn't want the pin code or number or specific address or person, I can reduce it with the different levels, whichever I want in the attributes. Okay, see at a automatic concept hierarchy generation, if you see, some hierarchies can be automatically generated based on the analysis of the number of distinct values per attributes in the data set. So already we have seen what is metadata, in that how to be framed, what type of data, everything will be given over here. So depends upon that, we can frame the hierarchy. If you see country, which is drilled to province or a state, which again drilled to city, and city again drilled to street. See, the attributes with the most distinct value is placed at the lowest level of the hierarchy. Exceptions, you can go for a weekdays, month, quarter, year also. So if you see the distinct values over here, the number of values, if we go in depth, will be more than the topmost layer. So depends for our analysis which is good. We can go either from a top to bottom or bottom to up. Okay, now we have seen a different type of techniques. We'll see what is the summary what we have studied. So we have seen that the data should be quality, then only it will be used for the data mining. If the data is not quality, we cannot be used for a data mining. That's what we have seen in the introduction part, and we have seen how to define the terms of quality. That is, it should be accuracy, completeness, consistency, timeliness, believability, and interoperability. This is what we speaks about data quality. Next one we have seen as a data cleaning. That is, what are the routines attempt to fill in the missing values, smooth out the noisy values while take it for consideration. How to correct the inconsistency in the data, that also we have seen. And next one is data integration. Also we have seen data cleaning is usually performed as an iterative of two processes. If you remember, one is an iterative or interactive concept also we have studied. Next one is a data integration. Here in data integrations we have seen data from multiple sources to form a coherent data store. So this resolution of a semantic hydrogeneity, a metadata, a correlation analysis, a tuple duplication reduction should also be considered while taking for a integration. That is, you should remove the entity identification problem, remove the redundancy, and detect the inconsistency. Next one is your data reduction. So in that one we have seen the dimensionality reduction, numerosity reductions, and data compressions. And next one we have seen the data compression and data discretization. So if you see in data compressions, it is the routines. It converts the data into appropriate form for mining. For example, we have seen the normalizations. So this normalization attribute are scaled so that it can fall with a small range such as 0.0 to 1.0. So this helps for us for transformation. And next one is, if you see the data discretization, here we saw the concept of hierarchies. That is, either we can go for a bottom-up approach or a top-down approach. So this all, it helps for us for the generating the data, error-free data, which will be used for your analysis. So this concept is a very important concept. You can go for a pre-processing techniques, everything, data cleaning, data integration, data reduction, the data transformation, and data discretization. You can go through it. We'll see it in the next class, the next chapter.